I got $10,000, what should I do? I get that question.
It's a great question.
Yeah, I get $10,000, what should I do? And I go, easiest answer ever. Invest it all in yourself.
We are investing on Facebook time. We're investing on Instagram time. We're investing on checking your email every 5 seconds. That is investing. And I think people have to accept the fact that everybody here is an investor. They're all investing every day of the week. The question is what?
You're going to have to actually open a book and read it. It's not like the information isn't buried in the Conga and we got to go figure it out and it's hidden in a buried treasure and there's, danger. It's literally in the public library for free.
So welcome to the Average Sucks Show, where we get an opportunity to meet and get people in our lives that we can learn from that show us not only how to live an above average life, people that are living above average lives already. And the reason I'm so excited about this show is this has been a couple years in the making of wanting to get this individual on the show. And the question I have for you today, could you imagine what it would be like if you could decide where you want to be financially down the road? Could you imagine what it would feel like if you could take the economics you have in your business or your job and truly be wealthy in life? And I got to tell you, today's guest not only did it for himself, but he has showed thousands of people all over the world how to take their current economics, their current economic situation, their current income, and truly develop wealth in a multitude of vehicles. He started off in the investment game himself and then eventually became a top real estate agent, number 9 in one of the biggest companies in the world. He is the founder of the Be Wealthy Mastermind. He also created what's called KW Wealth, where for Keller Williams Wealth, he's got a mastermind there as well. But most importantly, he's a guy that is obsessed. He is a husband, he is a father, and he's obsessed with showing people all over the world how they can take their economic situation and truly create wealth. So today with us is my good friend, Brett Tanner. And Brett, I'm excited to have you on the show today.
Hey.
And we got a big thing to live up to. We've got to show people how to be wealthy today. You ready to do that?
I'm ready to do it.
Glad you're here, brother. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let me just jump at it real quick. I covered, you've done a lot of stuff in your lifespan. So you're about 30 years old right now?
I am exactly 30. Don't be fooled by the white hair.
I'm getting my
you got, mine 5 years ago just went white.
Yeah. Okay. You just in one day?
Yeah. Okay. Pretty much. Yeah.
I call it wisdom.
Yeah.
Make it work. So super excited to hear. We've talked about this a while. I've had the honor of knowing you now, I believe about 10 years and speaking and sharing at some of your events. And I said, I got to get listen to you talk. I'm like, I've got to get you to share with the community. So I want to backtrack real quick here for a second. We were talking prior to the show. Did you start in real estate? Is that where we began? Like how did you get to this idea that you can be wealthy through assets and intelligent financial and real estate? Where did that all begin?
So my background, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Colorado. I grew up.
Does it have a name or is it called the middle of nowhere?
Cajon, Colorado, 10-mile population 35.
So could we map it right now?
You could map it.
I feel like Joe Rogan. Hey, Jamie, can you find me? Yeah.
Southwest corner of the state.
Okay.
10 miles away is the town. It's got 700 people. There's 17 people in my graduating class.
Who's the real estate agent in that town?
Oh,
because that'd be hilarious. Imagine being the agent in the town and there's only 17 houses.
Yeah, they wouldn't crush it there. They would absolutely not crush it. So growing up there, right, you don't have not a great education. It's the poorest county in Colorado. So I grew up where my parents were middle class, upper middle class, but in the poorest county, right, they're looked up to, right? So have money relative to a really small town. You went to a really big town, they'd be average. So I come to ASU.
That's how you got out here.
I came out here in 99 for college. Like a genius. I went to school, found out college wasn't my thing. So I just wanted to get out of it as quick as I could. Graduated in 3 years.
Would you graduate with any degree?
Well, that's the trick. You can walk when you're still 6 credits short.
Okay.
Went and walked, never went back. So I have the diploma holder. I have no degree. I'm 6 credits short of a college degree. I was going to be an attorney.
Okay.
But I read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that was the book for me that, my parents were okay. I didn't know any really wealthy people. I saw wealth and I'm like, I think I could do that. And that book was the first book that really related to me.
When did you open that book up?
I would say 2000, 2001.
So weird because I went to ASU, just a funny story. And I went to ASU, strategically got asked not to come back after 2 years, went to Mesa Community College and took a business class there because I couldn't do well at ASU. My grades, it wasn't worth the money. So I went to MCC for a little bit, and I found that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, about 1999, 2000. And I didn't want to graduate after that. I remember calling my parents. I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to go to school anymore. And they're like, what did you read? And that literally opened up my eyes to, you don't have to go to school. It's not necessary to go to school for everything. So that was right around that same time.
I think that book's had more people drop out of college and become entrepreneurs.
I didn't even finish the book. Did you finish it?
Oh, I finished it. Of course I did.
I need to finish it. I understood the cover.
Well, I understood the cover. I read the book, and then I became obsessed.
Okay.
I became obsessed with just one concept from the book.
What was it?
The concept was that wealthy people go create the cash flow first before they upgrade their personal life.
So you heard that, and this is the part I want to make sure we're clear, because I know you now, but I want to go back then, because some people listening potentially, they're like, sounds great, they're ready to activate what you have, and other people like, how do I create the cash flow? You're sitting there in college, where are you working? You got a job?
I'm working at Lone Star Steakhouse.
Okay.
Yeah, waiting tables.
Okay, so you're making cash.
I'm making cash.
Hustling.
I'm hustling.
Okay.
That's where I met my wife, by the way, girlfriend at the time. We've been together 25 years now.
Okay.
Met her at Lone Star Steakhouse. But just that idea, I had all these things I wanted, right? As a 19, 20-year-old kid, you're like, I want the cool car, and I want this,
What's
and
the
I want
car
that.
you wanted?
A Porsche, right?
Okay.
You want a 911. And
what were you driving though?
a piece of crap, 88 Cadillac, four-door Sedan DeVille.
But you're dreaming every day you're driving. You're dreaming.
When I'm driving this thing, and it's got that red felt.
Yeah.
Almost looks like, what was that restaurant downtown that?
The old school one.
The old school one.
Yeah.
Steakhouse.
What was that steakhouse downtown?
Durant's.
Durant's, yeah.
So Durant's, this car looks like Durant's on the inside, right? It's just that weird, you could change oil on this thing.
Mafia movie.
It's a mafia movie car. And I'm looking at these other cars thinking, how do I do it? I read that book and it's like, well, you should go buy an asset that would pay for the Porsche, right? If the payment on the Porsche is going to be $500 a month, which whatever, pick your units.
Yep.
How do you go get an asset that pays the $500 so you have to pay for it? So I just read that. I don't even know what it means at this moment, but I'm like, I want to do that, right? I want to have cool things.
Yeah.
How do I do that? And so that was the spark that led me. I think real estate could be my vehicle. And so I went down the road of studying real estate and started flipping houses. I actually wasn't an agent first.
Interesting. Okay, so I got your intro incorrect. So you started off as
I started an investor. Became an, so I started flipping homes.
Okay.
And
what was the first one you did?
So our first deal, I'll give you, was probably Chandler, bought it, didn't really know what I was doing, and made probably $15,000, $20,000.
What were they going for back then? Would you have to
130, buy it for 100, put a little into it. Yeah.
Put down 15, 20 and then
And like that, I had to have leverage at that point. I couldn't have never dreamed at that moment of paying cash for a house.
Yeah.
But so you got into it. And now then it starts leading into this 03, 04, our market gets on fire. And so being capital constrained was an opportunity. And so the builders are having lotteries at that point. They're starting to have these. They don't have enough homes. People go in there. I'm like, well, how can I get in these lotteries and win more homes? Because I could write a check for $1,000, takes them 9 to 12 months to build it. During that period of time, it's appreciated massively. I could almost make $50,000 to just close on the home and resell it.
Wow.
Now, the builders don't love this idea today. They actually frown upon it. They completely, you can't do it anymore. But at that point in time, so I had $10,000. I wrote 10 different earnest money checks. And I've got, horses in the race.
Wow. So if they go up, it goes up 20, 30,000 bucks. This 1,000 goes to 10 grand, 20 grand. And you never even have to move in.
And if it doesn't, I cancel it and I lose $1,000.
And these are just the builds.
This is specs.
Wow.
So this is, again, a smarter model, right? If I had more capital, I might have done something different. But that was my foray into flipping. And then I had this, 04, 05, I had kind of a life-changing flip, right? So I moved to Scottsdale. My neighbor fell into tough times. And he goes, hey, I heard you flip homes. And I go, not really. Whatever. I kind of want my home to be my sanctuary. I just really don't want to get involved in other people's things. And he goes, would you look at my home? Would you be interested in buying it? I said, not really, but I'll walk through it and I'll point you in the right direction, see if you can help. And he says a number that he wants to sell it for, and my jaw dropped. Like, it's one of those, when someone says, and you're like,
yeah,
wow, are you sure that's what you want to sell it for? And so he said, I think $230,000. And I knew it was worth about $330 at that time. And I said, hey, if that's the case, and he's like, I'm in foreclosure, I'm behind on my payments. I got to get out.
He just wanted to get even.
And he made money at that number. Like,
okay,
it wasn't
wow.
like he was making money, but he had no other way other than lose the home. I go in there, and now keep in mind, we're in 2004 or 5 right now. Okay, the value skyrocket. I do a flip, I make $200,000 by the time I'm done on that house.
That's a massive amount of money back then.
Well, I can tell you it represented, there was a lot more money than I had in my checking account at that
moment.
So you get that wire, and you're like,
it just doesn't even look right in your account.
You're like,
lots of zeros.
This is different than before. Yeah. My average daily balance just went up, 3,000%. So, I owned the home next door. So in doing that, I doubled the value of my home next door.
Wow.
So I sold it. Right. So I all of a sudden had $500,000 and I'm in the game. I'm an investor. I went and got my license because I was going to just manage my own transactions. I'm going to flip homes more frequently now. I'll just manage my own deals. Fell in love with the agency side of the business. I helped a buddy buy a home, buddy sell a home. And then I just realized I'm in two different businesses. Right? I'm going to do things during the day that I go work and make money. I have a day job selling real estate. Then what I do with the money actually will determine if I'm wealthy. So there's my first kind of idea of earned income, passive income. And so I start going down that road of how can I use my skills in my craft, which was real estate, to create wealth? Well, it was through rentals. And so you're selling the product all day. Really, you get really good at knowing, is this a deal? Is this not a deal? What works, what doesn't? And that was the beginning. I was like, my path is buying real estate. I just want to own lots and lots of real estate. My original goal was to own 1,000 single family rentals. Right? I own 0. That was the goal.
Okay.
We'll start with 1.
That was the original goal.
That was the original goal. Yeah, own 1,000.
How many are now?
I got to 125.
Okay.
About 2 years ago, and I've sold them down. I'm down to 20.
Did you sell them at a high?
I mean, at a yes.
2022.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, I've been selling.
Okay, got
so I'm down to So it's
everything.
And I rolled it all up with a triple net commercial, and that's a wild story. But sold them all down to 20 of them now. But that was the original spark. Was just the builders, and there's a niche in every market. And I think what's interesting, if you look back at that time, you look at the great financial crisis, and you look at today, there's an opportunity in every single market. People today are saying, oh, there's no opportunity. I've done the biggest deals actually of my career in the last 6 months, but there was an opportunity when I, got hammered in the great financial crisis. There was an opportunity then. There's an opportunity in all of it. And I think today, right, the news, the media, and all the things that are going on, people aren't actually digging for what's the opportunity for me right now.
What is your strategy for that? So people listening right now, I'm just going to speak for them. I can't speak for them, but I'm going to speak for them because they can't speak.
Yeah.
So you're hearing you say this. They're like, God, that made sense. I wish I would have been living next door to that guy. Or how great would that have been if everybody lives next door to that guy? Or wish I had $20,000 in credit card checks that I could have used to buy 20 properties, whatever, back in the day.
Yeah.
How does somebody turn on, what would your strategy be if you sat down even with your kids, or maybe someone else's kids, because they'll listen better than our own kids. But if you were to sit down with some people right now and said, listen, here's the way to two things. One, avoid what you're hearing, but also how do you get the lens of looking for the opportunity? After all your years of 20-something years of doing this, what would you recommend for someone to find that lens to go, what would be to give that focus to be able to see? Because you could have lived next door to that guy and the guy said, hey, do you flip? And he said, I don't flip, and just never would have went over there and you wouldn't be sitting here today.
Totally.
Okay. So how does somebody turn on the blinders and really, really get that lens? And what is that lens?
So the first place to start, we got to figure out what people want. And you ask people, hey, what do you want out of your life? And most people don't know. They say, I don't know. And so then they may need to invert that problem and say, what do I not want? So the way we teach it is, if I'm sitting down with a 20-year-old today, okay? I would say, well, let's figure out how in 30 years you could have $50 million or more. You could pick the number, cannot be less than 50 million in 30 years. This is the exercise we teach.
Okay.
By the way, you don't need to know anything about money to do this.
Okay.
You're just going to go, and 30 years from now, the bottom of a sheet we give you, you're going to put 50 million.
Or
you can put 100 million.
Yep.
It just can't be less than 50.
Okay.
Then you got to go back and figure out, what do I need to do to be worth 50 million? Okay, I'm going to buy 1,000 houses. I'm going to buy 3 apartment buildings. Whatever the assets you want to put in there on a best guess.
Right? And this is net worth.
Net worth.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter the assets you pick. Crypto, stock market, it's irrelevant.
And pause with an ADD brain right now. We're going to get back to this in a minute.
Yeah.
People listening right now, explain how the mindset is to get from someone to understand net worth. I know I understand what it means.
Totally.
Net worth versus income. If someone's listening to this right now, going to make $300,000 a year at my job, I'm selling for, Google, selling ads or whatever it is, or I'm working for Joe Blow and I'm making $300,000. How do we get them to start thinking net worth and not disconnect that they need to earn that 50 million?
Totally. So every person watching this, every single person watching this needs to go and get your net worth together. Assets, liabilities, a balance sheet. Simple balance sheet. You can get one right off our website, bewealthy.com.
Okay.
It's free. You go grab
We'll
it.
put that down, bewealthy.com. Yeah.
Go in there and grab this tracker. You're just going to put every checking account you have is going to be a different line. If you got cars, different line. Every liability. If you have credit card debt, if you have car payments, if you've got different mortgages, everything's on its own line.
Okay.
Your assets up top, your liabilities on the bottom. Assets minus liabilities equals net worth. So now we're sitting down with that 20-year-old, figuring out how do you be worth your assets minus your liabilities,
$50 million
minimum.
And you're looking at it and go, I'm only worth $200,000.
I'm worth negative 500.
Negative $500.
Cool. And then you're like,
dollars. Okay.
I'll hear people say, well, I'm worth negative 500. Go, irrelevant. Doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about.
This is the juice.
Yeah. So we're going to 30 million. So now but then we're going to backtrack it. So as this plan, you're going to see today, this is 2025, right? So we're talking 2055.
Yep.
Right. What are you worth?
Yep.
And so, all right. So where do I need to be in January of 26? Where do I need to be in January of 27? Where do I be in January of 28 to be on track to be worth my goal in the future? And so people don't miss their goals because they didn't have a great plan. They missed their goals because they got off track for a decade or more and didn't have a check-in point, right? Like if you and I want to go on a fitness journey and we're going to start running a marathon, and we're going to, like, okay, we're going to be peers and we're going to run a marathon.
We're going to do this.
We're going to do this.
We're going.
Are we just going to show up like in 6 months at the thing and go, hey, let's go run?
If we want to be in pain.
If we want to, not make it.
Yeah.
But if we're going to go like, all right, well, how far are you running every day? How far? And we're going to have check-in points as we go to know that we're on or off track so you and I could adjust our training so that we're successful. We all know this in our lives. We know that we need to have check-in points. Yet with our money, for some reason, we just believe it'll take care of ourselves.
Any reason why you think we think that way? And I'm asking the questions because you're in the moment. I'm catching you as you're saying it. Why do you feel that is that like we just absolutely society disrespect? I don't. I was growing up I grew up differently with money. I'm just going to tell you, I'm obsessed, not with money, but just with don't do that.
Yeah.
Why do you feel the general public, from what you've seen, just doesn't lay it out, is not willing to look, and just thinks it's going to take care of itself, and officially has never done that for anyone?
I think there's a handful of reasons. I think one, they think their job will take care of them.
Okay.
Like, oh, my job will just, my income will go up in the future and it'll just work out. I think they believe in their retirement plan. They got some retirement. I think then the bigger one is I think they believe investing's hard. And I think they start running a program, which, when you were at my podcast, you said, we've been running this program for 30 years, which the program is, it's hard for me. That can't work for me. I see Michael talk about it. I see Brett talk about it. But wealth and this big life's not for me because of, and then they insert their situation.
Got it.
So they anchor in reasons and misbeliefs and myths that aren't real, but they make them real in their life.
Got it. Okay. So, all right, this is great. So you got a guy, you're sitting down, 20-year-old kid, or anybody watching this, any age you got, ladies, everyone, you can be 20 again.
30.
50 million bucks down here.
Yeah.
Starting at the beginning, you find out you're at whatever. What are the first couple stages?
Yeah. So now we go, okay, I know I need to be there. I'm at negative 500 today. Okay, well, where do I need to be in January of 2026 or 27? And what you realize, like I don't want to run the exercise, but the point to it is when people look at that number 50 million for most people's like, oh my gosh, right? Most people don't know a lot of people that have a $50 million net worth. Like think of that's the wealthiest person you know. The reality is for people watching this, they could be the wealthiest person they've ever met. But do you have a $5 plan or do you have a $50 million plan? Most people have a $5 plan, right? Or don't even have a plan. And so if I knew that, the exercise at the end, what the aha they get at the end of this, people email me, this is too hard. It took me 3 hours. I'm like, yeah, it's going to take you 3 hours to be worth $50 million maybe, right? It might take 3 hours. The aha is it's actually not that hard. I can do it. I need to buy 2 houses. I did the math on average, like the average person. If you said you bought 2 homes per year, on average, if they appreciate it 4 to 6% and do what real estate's always done, it's over $50 million on the average sales price in most markets across the country when I've done the math. So, and most people could go, well, I could figure out a way in time to buy 2 homes a year, right? Like that's doable scenario.
I'm hearing this now and I'm thinking what the challenge people have is they're thinking, I need to buy a house. I've got to do all the paperwork. I've got to live in the house. This is literally an asset. It is not something other than a number on your balance sheet, correct?
Correct.
You're not talking about anything other than buying it, renting it.
I'm not even telling you renting it. I'm telling you.
You don't even see it. The reason I'm saying this is I think people's natural tendency when they heard real estate is they see what they went through to get their house. Their wife or husband's picking out couches. Like we're not doing that.
Yeah.
It is literally something that you're going to rent to somebody else and they're going to use it. I know it sounds silly what I'm saying, but I'm thinking people's natural program is, I
got to drive around and go look at all these houses and pick the right one.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not that. You're picking the right investment, not the right couch, not the right countertop.
Interesting.
You're picking the right investment right in a different angle. By the way, in real estate, inside of real estate, we always think ownership. We think buying houses, buy a building, right? You got this amazing building here.
Thank you.
You think about that, but like people miss the other side of it. There's lots of different sides of real estate. People miss the debt side. I used to drive by the coolest building in town and go, God, I'd love to own that building. Now I drive by and I go, I'd love to own the debt on that building.
Interesting.
I want to be
paid on the debt.
I want to get paid on the debt. I mean, debt's totally passive, right? Yeah. Like if I'm the bank, I own a tremendous amount of debt today. You talk about passive. Servicer collects the money. They don't even know who I am. collect the money, drop it in my account. I do nothing. Literally nothing. A lot of my investments today are so passive. People think, oh, it's got to be, I have a house, I have tenants, I've got toilets, tenants, and trash. Growing up, my dad said, don't get into real estate. By the way, this isn't how my dad sounds, but the voice growing up that I would give him a hard time with was the voice of the Nutty Professor. So that would be my job. So everybody says eat healthy. I'm healthy. Yeah. I'm like, Dad, you're eating like a cinnamon roll and 3 strips of bacon for breakfast. I don't think that's healthy.
That's not healthy.
Everybody says eat healthy. He goes, I'm healthy.
Yeah.
He comes back. He gets like his heart checked. So I want to get him checked when I was in high school. And he came back and goes, honestly, what they said, one of the greatest hearts they've ever seen. They said it's the best. They've seen good hearts. Not something like this. Not something like this. Heart of an Olympic athlete. I believe that's what they said. I'm like, Dad, absolutely they did not say that.
He believed it.
But I would do this voice. He goes, Brett, you get into real estate. It's just toilets, tenants, and trash. I go, I don't even know what that. How do you know that, Dad? You don't own any investment in real estate. No, but he heard it from someone one time. I've never had it be. Yes, you have tenants are a part of it. I don't know where the toilets and trash part comes. But I think that people get their investment advice from their neighbor, from their friend, from their news, or online.
Got it.
And is that the source of truth? Is that the right place we should be looking? Probably not. We should be getting around people like the experts that know the space. They're actually doing it, not just talking about doing it online.
Interesting. So that's where most people are. I mean, it just makes common sense. I mean, people asking the dog catcher, the neighbor, the best friend, their aunt, their uncle, do they have what it is that they want? And most people have never done it before, or they did it one time. And interesting. Okay. Because
I had a bad experience. I did that one time and I did a flip and I didn't make money. It's like, well, what did you know? Well, nothing.
What'd you learn?
Yeah. Well, like, okay, harder. Better way to approach it. I would set it up differently. But I think that so much can be done with planning, right? So mistakes I made early on, right? I wouldn't have done that $50 million plan. I figured that all out later. I figured it out early. I would have loved to figure it out at 19. I figured it out like 25.
The $50 million plan.
Yeah, like that concept. And so I've been working off the game you play then, right? Is you know where you need to be at these distant points in the future. How do I get ahead? So I know where I need to be in January of 27, my own life.
Yes.
Like I track my plan.
Yep.
I'm living in like 2035 today.
Got it.
I'm 10 years ahead. So like being a competitor, right, I don't just want to be on track. This is the Average Sucks podcast, right?
Yes.
Average people just
gonna hit their target.
They do what they want to do. You just wake up and do whatever you want to do every day. You'll be average. It's super easy. That's the definition of average in my opinion. Just do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Do with your money, do whatever.
Be a little better than some people.
Do your time, like, well, do whatever you want. You don't need a calendar. Just show up and show up late sometime, right? What do not average people do? Like your audience, what are they doing? They're planning. They're listening to this. They're planners. They want to live a radically different life. That's going to be done through some sort of check-in mechanism that tells you if you're on or off track to live the life that you want. And
That's great.
And I just think people have got to get to, by the way, the point of the 50 million is just to realize you could accomplish all your goals and dreams with that amount of money. Now we need to figure out, what does that actually represent? If you had 50 million drop in your checking account, what would you do tomorrow? Are you doing your same job? Are you doing something different? Like, what does that really mean? So our work is getting entrepreneurs to realize their life's work through their business, and then how can they actually get more of what they want? Right? Our mission statement, which I borrowed from my life, which is freedom of the work I do, how I do it, where I do it, and who I get to do it with. Ultimately, freedom of choice. What I believe every person that doesn't want to be average wants, they want more freedom. Right? They want more freedom in their life. They may define it differently than you and I. You and I were talking about freedom and holiday trips. All that stuff. Like we're going there. That's what I wanted, right? That was my get free moment. And so thinking about freedom is that 50 million to me is just a vehicle to get what I wanted, so I get more goodness out of life and get to experience all that it has.
It's interesting because the money thing, I think it's a way of respecting yourself. It's not like you need it to respect yourself, but if there's things you want to do and you're making up stories of why you can't have it, it all gets eliminated by doing a 3-hour piece of homework and then getting together and doing the work. So let me ask you. So you got people listening right now, they're making 6 figures, making multiple 6 figures, even making $1 million.
Yeah.
You mentioned something prior. I said, what are you really great at? And you're like, I love, and like you got excited about this, teaching people how to take their current income that's coming in and turn it into something passive for themselves. What is, after they do the plan, what is that step? Or for somebody to like mentally look at it and go, how do I turn this number, which seems like I kind of maxed it out. I kind of allocated already. You allocated it 80 grand a year and you allocated it $600,000 a year for things you think you need. Where do we create the leverage point in our current capital or our current thing to actually start that process of investing? Because they probably got a 401k. They probably got a Roth. I'm just trying to think what's the average things people have. 401k, a Roth, small investing, a little bit crypto or something. Yeah. They're playing around with some stuff. How do we take that next big step?
So most people are outsourcing their financial future to someone else.
Okay.
They're doing it through my company's retirement plan.
Yep.
I'm doing it through, I put money in the stock market, but I don't even know what it's in, right? I got some things and my neighbor told me he loves
But A41, yeah.
Yeah, right. So they're largely invested in things they don't understand or don't know. So the first thing I'd say is every dollar that you have that's invested somewhere, you should know everything about it. If you do not have an unfair advantage, don't compete.
Got it.
So first thing, business owners, I look in, where's the investment inside your business? So let's just pretend we've got a dentist, okay? And so dentists have all these pieces of equipment that are massively expensive. Right? If they want to make that
fortune,
like those, like when they make your crown in there, the ones that do it, like that machine's like whatever, I don't know, $700,000. So overwhelmingly, they're leasing these machines. Well, what if the first thing you could do was you didn't have to lease on the machine? That's 13 or 14% interest effectively. Let's just say that your investment, I mean, that's a $700,000. But before that, what's the other smaller machine? So where in your business can you go eliminate costs and take that own, just betting on yourself and getting an insane return? So I wouldn't be looking outward. I would be looking inward. Where can I go in my current world and just invest in myself and get an unfair advantage? Like, because I know this machine, I know what it does, I know what I'm paying, I know all those things. Then if I'm a dentist and you're a dentist, I go, hey, are you paying for that machine? Dude, I will finance that machine for you. I would just go in my industry. By the way, it's what I did.
Got it. So you go finance someone else's machine. They pay you by the debt, basically. And let them pay you.
I mean, that's one way to do it, right? Like I would start, where do I know more than anyone else? And everyone watch this. You have an unfair advantage in your own business. Where is the place where there's an opportunity there? Second thing I would look at, okay, now I've decided I want to go into the asset game. First of all, we already said we're not going to invest in anything we don't understand. We're not just going to give it over to a financial advisor. I've got more financial advisors fired than probably anybody. I'm not anti-financial advisor. I'm just pro you, right? I'm pro the individual. Put the money in your hands and then get educated. So the first thing is, what's the asset class that excites you, right? So people are watching. Some people say, I don't want to own real estate. I don't want to deal with the tenants. Cool, got it. What about a triple net commercial building, right? I mean, I own a couple Starbucks. I'm in escrow to buy one, and I own one already. You talk about passive. I don't do anything. I mean, I'm not in the Starbucks business. I'm in the business of owning the building.
You own the building that they live in.
Yeah. So 15-year lease, triple net. I mean, they pay triple net, meaning they pay everything. The AC breaks, it's their responsibility. The parking lot's got an issue, their responsibility. My rent payment is net. They pay the taxes, they pay the insurance, they pay everything, right? So that might be someone's vehicle. It might be I want to own a seller finance note. People don't realize that someone sells their home. Sometimes the seller does the financing for them. Well, that seller goes down the road 3, 4, 5 years and they've got an $80,000 note. They need to sell it. That's sold at a discount. So you could buy this, someone owes $80,000, you would buy it at say $60,000 to $70,000.
And you can skip all the costs of everything and the closing costs, real estate costs, everything.
You're just buying the debt on this person's house, and then it's going to ACH into your account every single month. So there's all these different ways. I own natural gas royalties, which could be any size. It could be 10 grand or 50 million. Doesn't matter. And it's just ACH'd into your account. So the first thing I would kind of look, what excites me? What's down my lane? I've already capitalized in my own business. Now I'm going to go in this lane of where do I want to invest? Now I would go education. I was just speaking in New Jersey.
That's where I'm from, yeah. We're in Jersey.
Not that long ago. I flew into Newark, and it was like...
That's horrible, Newark. I don't think anyone lives there. So
Newark, so it was Newark. It was just straight north of Newark. Okay. Like Edison, yeah.
Near
Edison, okay. I was there, and someone came up to me and go, what's the first... I got $10,000. What should I do with it? I get that question.
It's a great question.
Yeah, I get $10,000. What should I do? And I go, easy. Easiest answer ever. Invest it all in yourself. Education.
Got it.
And don't go $10,000. Start with some books, right? Like pick the asset you love and start reading the information. When I want to learn I learned everything there was to learn about self-directed retirement accounts because a lot of our audience had these old retirement accounts that are placed in things they don't know. Well, it turns out there's only like 20 books on self-directed retirement accounts that are relevant. I read all of them. I built my mental model. And
it's $400 in books.
It's what?
$400 in books.
$400 in books, but I know everything there's to know about this subject that actually creates wealth for a lot of people. And now I built a model. And so I start with go get that education. Then as you go down the road and you read the 20 books, you end up with a model of there's some trainers, educators. You're like, that guy's really got it figured out. So I found the guy that had it figured out and I went and met with him. Now he's got some course or training, so I opted into that. And then there was a higher level thing. And so I went down the road to where I mastered that idea. So I think people want to jump, Michael, they want to jump to, I'm buying all the real estate. Instead, I would go, whoa.
Get the mindset right first.
Get the education.
Yeah.
Once you've done, and I always say and people have fear, right? So maybe people on here, they're like, and I've seen your graphic of fear. Yeah. People are afraid, and I think the way you remove fear is reps. So if I'm afraid to buy a house, single family rental, but I went out and analyzed 100, I'm not going to buy, but I'm going to get like the analysis as if I was ready to buy. So I go do all the work. Okay, this one, Okay, and then let's imagine there were sheets of paper. I've organized them. I got 100 of these. Not buying. The next one comes in, and it's better than all 100 combined. Like, this deal's insane. It's way better than the other ones. I'm like, I always ask the person, would you feel comfortable at that point? And I've yet to have someone say no. I'm like, well, why are you comfortable now? Well, because I got to see 100. This was better than 100. I'm like, well, so isn't that the answer? Go get the reps in. I owned 0 triple net commercial 2 years ago. The way I got my education, I deleted the Facebook and Instagram app off my phone. I replaced it with CoStar and Crexy. Same location, because my mind will, standing in line somewhere, it just goes the same spot. So your mind defaults and it pops up as Crexy, CREXI.com. Everyone could go there.
What is it?
Commercial real estate, MLS, free.
Got it. Okay, so you just look at what's out there in the world.
Anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country, you can go there. And
yeah.
so
I went there when I bought the building. I know Crexy.
Yeah, I just started going and looking at underwriting assets. I didn't know anything about it. So I'm like, I wonder what a Starbucks sells for in Miami versus Cleveland, and why are they different? Well, I didn't know. So I kept underwriting deals, and I did like 1,000. I mean, everywhere I go by, I tell my wife, like, do you know? So I had this map. She goes, do you know what Starbucks trade for everywhere in the country? I go, I do. I absolutely know. So fast forward, I do probably 1,000 of these. Every car wash. I picked the assets I liked, and I became an expert in that space. And then I started buying it.
How many offers do you have to put in on these things to, like, you're not like, you don't just walk up and say, I want the Starbucks. You're not the only, because people listening, oh, I'll buy a Starbucks. I got 3 million in my account. I'm going to go buy a Starbucks. How does that work? All right, I want to break in here real quick and remind you that motivation and mindset do not happen by accident. They happen by choice. They happen by decision. And why not start off the week in the most incredible way with an incredible Monday mindset that you can activate in less than 90 seconds. Go to michaelbernoff.com/Monday mindset, and you'll get access to our quick 90-second emails and videos that we will send every single Monday to activate your mindset in business and personal and every aspect of your life, so you can guarantee to live an above average life. michaelbernoff.com/Monday mindset. Get your access today.
You're not the only game in town. They're out there. So it depends on, do I want one in my backyard or am I willing to go anywhere? Okay. So the one I own is north of Atlanta.
Okay.
And I'm in escrow on the one that is in the West Valley, El Mirage right now.
Okay.
So they're out there. Off market's better, right? Where do you get the deal? If you go on the Crexy app, it's not going to be as good as the deal that you go find.
Got it.
Right. So if I go off market, I'm going to get a better deal.
Did you get this through the app or someone networked?
The one out there was through networked.
Yep.
So is every person I'm talking to as I'm underwriting those deals, at the end of every call, I'm talking to all these commercial brokers, I say, hey, Michael, if you've ever got something that's off market,
call me.
Keep me in mind.
Yep.
Now, in residential real estate, everyone hates that. Hey, if you got a deal and I can make 80 grand, Brett, you give it to me, I'll let you make 3%. I'm like, ooh, thanks a lot. I'll just make the 80. Why would I ever call you, right? I'm never doing that. Commercial real estate, the numbers are bigger, right? So people aren't going to buy $53 million assets in a year, right? So these commercial guys have access to all this inventory, and yet they're going to sell it to their investors and the people they're close to because they want to double end it.
Exactly.
And so I'm going to say, hey, dude, if you got something off market, bring it to me. I'd love to take a look. And I'm just underwriting deals. Well, this guy's like, hey, I got something for you. I got a Starbucks off market. I'm like, ooh. I'm interested.
I know a lot about it. I've researched 1,000 of them.
I know. And then I looked at this. Was it better than the other? It was better than all the other ones. So that's why. And it was easy to transact on because I'd done I knew instantly. Oh, that's a deal.
So confidence comes from self-education and awareness and an understanding of what it is you're dealing with. It's from experience. So this is you're creating experience and evidence for yourself, experience and evidence, I'd say the best way to put it, of that if you were to enter into, it's like playing cash flow. It's like, and then you finally get into real assets. You're basically playing the cash flow game, looking at this app, learning what if I were to do this, what if I were to do that. So by the time the phone rings, you are educated to make an intelligent decision. Still might have some fear or worry around it, like we all do, it's human, but you're saying that the confidence that somebody needs to invest comes from how much they don't need to know everything, but they do need to understand some of the moving parts.
They need to understand, I've got a working model on how this actually works. I've done it 100 times or 1,000 times. This one is better than those based on a very serious criteria. So I feel good about that. Right? Level 2 would be I've got a community of people, I've got an expert I could go to verify that idea. And then there's due diligence and all those other things. But I think if anyone wants to improve any area of their life, if you're not where you want to be, figure out the area of opportunity, right? If I own a roofing company and I'm watching and I'm like, hey, I'm above average roofing company. I'm making $300,000 a year.
Yep.
And I want to go to 600. I would okay, is it a sales process? Is it a marketing thing? Is it a fulfillment issue? Where's your issue? What are you reading to go solve that issue? Go find the expert. Someone's already done the thing that you want to do. Go get with them and you could shortcut. Like there's 2 different ways to learn. We can feel everything and go through it ourselves and we learn by doing, or you can learn from the lives of others, which is from the positives and the negatives, and you can learn way faster. And so I just think that education's the key. And I'm looking at all your books here, by the way.
Yeah, I got it. And I have thousands of them.
I am, and you're a voracious reader like I am. Don't you feel like reading's a lost art? Like I tell people, read this book and they go, can I get it on Audible? Can I watch the summary on YouTube? And I'm like, no. You're going to have to actually open a book and read it. It's not like the information isn't buried in the Conga and we got to go like, figure it out and it's hidden in a buried treasure and there's, like danger. It's literally in the public library for free.
So Jim Rohn always, you can find a lot. People drive by the library, they don't drive in.
They don't.
So I've been pushing this. As of this moment, I recorded my audiobook back 3 years ago. I haven't posted it for a couple of reasons for Average Sucks. It's really well done. We did a great job. Chip's probably, why haven't you put it up? But here's why. Number one is I wanted to do the thing Goggins did. We have interviews in the middle. I thought that'd be fun. So I haven't got around to doing that yet. And nor maybe I just didn't do it. Number two is they keep on asking me, does it come on Audible? And I'm like, you're going to have to do some of the work. I truly believe the kinesthetic attachment to physically holding a book, reading pages, turning pages is built into our DNA, and we gain more knowledge. And also having the feeling of actually holding a book and seeing a book and reading to yourself and crinkling those pages as you go and bending them in is even different than Kindle. So I'm just saying that if I recommend anything to anybody is go get, I was at dinner the other night with, do you know Cameron Harold?
I do know.
Yeah, Cameron's a good friend
of
ours.
Double.
Yeah, Double. Yeah, of course you read that book.
Vivid
Vision. Yeah. We were at dinner for his 60th, and I recommend, I said, everybody needs to get a yellow book light to read at night. And then everyone at the table, Joe Polish, Joe's there, Cameron's there, John Kaiser. Do you know John Kaiser? Investment guy out here. Yeah. Everyone's there at dinner, and everyone goes, most of them just went and bought a yellow book light. And like, why? It's because it doesn't keep you up all night, and you probably put yourself to sleep. Why am I saying this? I think if we do not continue to share books, eventually they're going to get rid of the libraries because they're going to find that there's no benefit of them anymore. Government's going to eventually catch on to that. And number two is we got to physically make books because if we don't, and then they're going to lose. So every wealthy person I know, they're reading books, physical copies of books in their car on a beach doing something. Well, I love them. Books turn me on.
Well, so here's the deal. So I have two comments, and I made this. I got tore apart online for this comment, by the way. So maybe I will hear as well. Yep. I said, you know what I think Audible is? I think it's entertainment.
I do too.
And people are like, they go, you believe, what if someone's blind? And I go, I'm not anti-blind people. That's not what I see. You're just trying, that's just a road.
That's that one person that wants to find the one reason you're wrong.
I just said, show me your notes from your last.
If eyes work, Audible is not needed.
All I said to go, well, let me see your notes from your last Audible. Can I see them? And they go, huh? I go, would you like to see my notes from my book? Well, first of all, let me show you my book. It's dog-eared, it's written in, I got pages written. I mean, like, my wife goes, did you turn down every single page of that book? I go, well, this particular one had a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in. I use books as reference manuals.
Yep.
As I read it, I mark it. I go solve problems in my library.
Yep.
So I've got this private coaching client. He's making great money, wants to go to the next level. I said, let me just ask you a question. How many books do you read a year? He said, I read 4 or 5. I said, okay. What would happen in your life if you read one a week? You know the first thing he said? I don't read that fast. I said, oh, do you have a reading problem? He goes, no. I go, well, have you ever taken any courses to get better at reading? Yeah, reading's a skill, like any other skill. You could develop it. Jim Quick, I think,
I was about to say, Jim. We were at dinner with Jim a couple months ago.
I took it a different course. You didn't have it, but 15 years ago, I took a speed reading course. So I encourage people. I said, I'll tell you what, like if they're in my organization, if you go take the course and you double your speed and you double your comprehension, I'll pay for the course. Which, by the way, that's his guarantee, so they all do that. And I pay for it for them. So you can read a book a week. So the guy didn't hit 52, he hit 32. But mind you, went 4 to 32, 8x increase. What do you think happened to his income?
It exploded.
It wasn't quite an 8x increase, but it was pretty damn close.
I mean, dude, double for reading those books is nothing.
It literally goes, it was all around the skills that he needed to do it. And he goes, I go, so what are you going to do next year? He goes, I'm going to read another. I go, it's so wild. And I've told everyone I've ever met to do it, just like you do. Like, go read the books.
They don't do it.
People want the shortcut, right? You got to read Average Sucks. You got to get into it. It's a reference manual. You're going to go back to do the exercise. And then you're going to read it next year, right? Great books you don't read once. I've got books I read every single year.
How many times have you read Think and Grow Rich?
Oh, that's not my most read book, but I've read it, 10, let's call it 10. The One Thing by Gary Keller. You know, my mentor.
I have 3 copies of it here.
I'm living in Kauai.
Yep. Is he going to be there?
He will not be there. But I read that book every year.
Got it.
It's funny. And I text him. We text all the time. I text him like, hey, and he goes, man, you know what he said? I need to read it again. Like, you're the author. I don't get it. He goes, everyone needs to hear it.
Yep.
He goes, I need to hear it.
on the one thing that we need to do in our lives. And
What's the one thing we should do such that by doing everything else easier and necessary, right? Amazing idea.
I got a client that is a really high level guy that runs a big software company and a big media buyer. And he bought me the book recently. I've had many people, I've read the book. He brought me the book. He's like, this has made a big difference. I'm like, dude, you run a company doing tens and tens and tens and tens of $1 million and you're trying to find out the one thing. So I could talk about this part for longer. And I want to go at this because I first heard this concept from when I used to go to Jim Rohn events. That's how I got started. Jim was one of my mentors when I was young. And I got a picture of him and I upstairs like a little kid. And I remember Jim telling the story, and he talks about it in his audios, and I listen to his audios, but I listen to audios, but it doesn't mean I don't read. So that's where I think people get confused. I listen to Jim Rohn still probably about an hour a day, almost every day, because I love it. But I also read 10, 20 pages in a book every single day. But Jim said, I'm in my audience, there's 1,000 people in the room. I don't know if you ever heard this story. And he used to say this all the time. There are 2 people in the room, and they're 18 years old. And I recommended a book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And about 1,000 people in the room, or 300 people in the room, and probably 297 didn't get the book. And 2 people got the book. One was a guy named Mark Hughes, and the other one was Tony Robbins, a little boy named Tony Robbins that was 17. Why did they get the book? I don't know. Maybe there was something wrong with them. Mark Hughes started Herbalife, one of the largest companies in the world. To this day, is some of the wealthiest people on earth are his family after he's passed on, and the other one's Tony. So the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, which obviously you've read, right? Oh, many times. Clayson's book.
My kids, I mean, my kids have read it. I mean, it's that book's insane. It's
insane.
An incredible book.
And we're saying it right now. And
I've actually recently reread it.
Yeah. And I recommend anybody, and I don't know if you recommend anything other than this, is that if you have not read that book, it is like $10. And I bet you can get it online on eBay for $1 because you can find a used copy. I challenge anybody who gets that book, just send us a message and send me a message. Find a way to take a picture of it, go buy it and do it. And actually then read it. Actually, don't send me a message till after you read it. But that was an eye-opener to me. I mean, how big's that book? What, 80 pages?
It's 80 pages. You could, I mean, if you're the slowest reader ever, you can read it in 4 days.
It'll change your whole life.
And it'll change your whole, even I've said, you know when I read it, so I hadn't read it like 10 years, reread it and I went, I forgot how good it is.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Treat every dollar like a soldier in your army or whatever. Teach every dollar like they're an employee in your life and make them work for you.
Yeah.
And that's what most people are using them like they're random strangers and instead of educating them how to go be great. So this is fascinating because no matter who I get on the show, they all read.
Yeah.
Every single person that's got a very exceptional net worth or a great marriage, great life, they physically have books and then everyone else doesn't. And they're hearing this. Everyone's like, sounds great, Michael. Can you get back to the investing part? Yeah. This is the investing part.
This is it.
Right? The $20 investment is more important than the $10 million investment.
So you and I have really wealthy friends.
Yes.
High income earners.
Yes.
Ridiculous. Yes. And when we go out to dinner and you start talking, they're going, have you read the latest book by Morgan House? We're all talking. They're all voracious readers. And I'm not saying they're not reading 2 books a year. I would say the minimum is 2 a month, like minimum to be in the game. So if you're not willing to read 20 pages a day,
don't bother.
You're not in the game. Then just
Amazon loves us because we go to dinner together. Amazon's like, hey, Brett and Michael are out to dinner tonight. We're about to make some money. It's it's good delivery. And then my wife the next day is like, you ordered more books, and we encourage them.
Yeah. I'm constantly giving away books to change my life. If I find it's amazing, I buy 10 more copies. I'm giving. Hey, you need to read this.
That's amazing.
You need to read this. I mean, you need to be doing it. It's if I was to boil down how I got in this chair, if there was one thing, it'd be reading.
Okay.
If I literally said one thing, it'd be that. I've read more about money and wealth than probably most folks.
So you've asked me this on your show. If you were to pick 2 things that somebody should read right now, and if you want to promote your own stuff, you can. But what would you say somebody right now, like new library, new starting, like Jim Rohn, as you said, like get a bookshelf, have a library. And he used to say every house over $300,000 has a library in it. We're building a new home right now. I have an entire library when you walk in. It's an entire area when you first walk in, a seating area. I built a library, and then my office has a library. My bedroom has a library. There are books everywhere. 2 books, make it easy, not even 3. 2 books right now that anybody should Amazon right now.
I said I won't use the one thing again. One thing is absolutely.
One thing's absolute.
I would say Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel.
Great book.
One of my favorite authors in this moment. He's written 2 others that are same as ever, The Art of Spending Money. But the Psychology of Money, it doesn't teach you how to invest your money. It teaches you how we're emotional beings, and then we're going to justify our decisions with logic.
Got it.
And how to avoid that trap, right? And so he just walks you through the traps of, as humans, we're highly emotional. How could we be less emotional on money and more logical and make better decisions? So I think
logical is going to help us.
I mean, all decisions are math. Every problem in life is a math problem.
Yep.
The problem, if I want to improve the relationship with my wife, it's a math problem, right? It's quality time at certain intervals, right? It's not unlimited time. I could spend every waking hour with my wife, right?
Yep.
I'm just a lot. She couldn't spend every waking hour with me because I'm
a lot of energy.
A lot of energy. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta get this drained, and then I can come home and I'm right on the right level for her. So, but I think that would be my one. I love a book I saw here, by the way, Ready, Fire, Aim.
That's a great book.
Great book. That's the one I'm going to go with. I want to go with The Slight Edge.
Ooh, that's a great book.
The Slight Edge because it's the easiest thing, and the whole point of the book
is interesting you brought that up.
Is reduce it down.
Direct salespeople love that book.
To the one little thing you could do, right? Like, so I'll make it something not tangible for money, and I'll go to money. The one thing for my wife to improve that relationship, I just look her in the eye and give her a kiss. Like, that's my one Slight Edge thing. Look in the eye, give her a kiss before I go. Did it maybe this morning. I do it every day. But like, it's not like I wasn't giving her a kiss. It was just random or whatever. But now that's the way I start my day. Right? That one little thing though, right? It's the Slight Edge. With my money, log into your bank account every day.
Yep.
I've been doing that forever. I log in and I look at the transactions. Just what happened? Personal, business. I have such a good feel.
Do you do it several times a day? Because I do it several times a day.
Minimum, but yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
And so, but is it like, so the audience, right? How often you log in your account? Here's a guy ridiculously successful is logging in multiple times a day. Yeah. Why? Not because there's not money in there. You want to know what's going on. I want to touch it. I want to feel it. What's going on here?
It's like my kids. I mean, I can't compare the two. Obviously, my kids come first, but it's like I've earned this. This is important to me. It matters. I respect it. I have a healthy respect for money.
Yeah. And how do you get the respect? Well, I got to know what's doing.
Yeah.
How's it work? Oh, there's a bunch of deposits there. Well,
yeah.
Okay. And then I got connectivity.
Well, what if someone's harming it? What if something came in? What if some weird transaction? What if something got missed? What if some lien levy happened because you have so many transactions you need to work on?
But easy example, right? You want to get closer to money? Log in every day.
Yeah.
So I had this, that 75 hard.
Yeah.
The whole like
you do it?
3 or 4 years ago. No, 3 or 4 years ago, I don't do anything that I can't sustain forever. So you got these guys that are taking a picture, put it on social media. Look at 75 hard. So I was giving this presentation. I go on a rant. I go, what if we did 75 hard for wealth?
Yep.
And instead of doing this goofy thing where you got to post it online, right? You don't have to do that. You just had to take the picture. What if you had to spend 45 minutes in the morning reading a book, and in the evening you had to take some financial course for 45 minutes? No Netflix for 75 days. No Netflix. No negative people. Once a week, you're going to meet with your mentor, someone who already is living the life you want. They are there in all areas, okay? Once a week, you're going to meet with a peer on the same journey as you. And once a week, you're going to meet with a mentee, someone that you're lifting up. What happens in 75 days? So I just had a rant, threw it on Facebook, whatever. So I give this presentation, and I always make a point of that. What would your life look like? So I gave this presentation in Atlanta, and I go back a year later, and the guy's like, I have about aha. He goes, oh, hey, I tried your 75 hard, and it totally failed. And I was like, dude, not a great aha, for the presentation. Tell me it didn't work. He goes, failed the first time.
Ooh.
Because I tried to do it alone. He goes, second time what I did, came to your class, I got 20 people on a group text. And every morning at 7, we had to text what we're going to read. We're all texting, hey, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich. I'm reading this. Here's what I learned. I'm texting in the evening, what's the course I took? And he goes, yeah, I got about 2 weeks in and I started losing weight. And I go, well, let me stop you. This isn't the 75 hard with the bro dogs and the, hey man. I go, this is books. He goes, no, well, here's what happened. I started logging my bank account every day like you told me. Started seeing how much money I was spending going out. I was partying a little, go out. No, he's not crazy, a few drinks. Well, so he goes, I quit doing that. When I quit doing that, I started feeling a little better. Started waking up a little earlier. Got up a little earlier, I started going to the gym. And he goes, you fast forward, he goes, I'm 60 days into 75 hard. I'm down 13 pounds. I've read all these books. My whole life's different. And I go, well, it's funny. It had nothing to do with your health, but yet it got you down the right path. So what would your life look like if you spent, 75 days is nothing. People will do it for 75 hard and they'll never do it again. And then they'll just balloon back up because, right, they're not going to maintain this hour and a half a day. Most folks aren't.
It's
right?
too complicated.
It's too complicated, too hard, right? You're not going to do it. And you don't need to read for an hour and a half a day either. But to your point, can you read? Everybody can read 20 pages. Everybody can invest in their education. And so the gap between where you are today and where you are in the future, right, it's two things. The books you read and the people you meet.
100%.
That's all it is. The books you read and the people you meet.
It doesn't have to be any more than that either.
It never is.
I was sitting in my car the other day and I'm driving and I'm thinking to myself, man, life's changed a lot in the last 10 years. A lot. And even the last 5 years. And I'm driving in my car and I'm thinking, man, it's really weird. It's like, I feel like the days are going faster. And then my brain goes, well, is that because we're getting older? It's getting our patterns. We're closer to death. People say there's a million different reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where does the time go? Because when I used to, at night, when I first got started, I would be recording audios at night in my closet. I would be building a studio. I would stay up till midnight, get up in the morning till 5 a.m. Do you remember these days, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what I used to do. And I'm like, where did the time go? Like, I don't do that anymore. And then I looked down, I saw my phone. And I'm like, it's that. It's literally I don't want to call it the devil or the demon or this problem, but that the phone, even little chunks of 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, it's the same way that the credit card companies. So there was a class action suit against credit card companies over like a small little percentage recently over the last couple of years. And there's a $18 billion lawsuit. I don't know what the numbers are, but whatever, ridiculous lawsuit. They are $1 trillion industries over pennies. And if we're using the pennies, reverse investing on ourselves, 5 minutes here, 7 minutes there, checking this, it's not like you can't be on it, but we're probably all losing an hour or two a day, checking, lifting our hand, grabbing that thing, looking at it, where we could literally put that down, read a book, and guarantee we're going to get what it is we want. So I believe these have added to the benefit for life, but it's also been an atrocity for people that can't control it. So if people are listening right now, and we literally did the basics, read books, educate yourself on finances or health, whatever it is you want to educate yourself on. Find the one thing that you need to do and do it, and spend about 15 minutes a day doing that stuff, or 20 minutes. Over time, investing that way, it will shape how you see you and how the world sees you.
I would go one step further. The people that I know that have the highest income and the highest net worth use these devices the least.
Say that again, and I want you to say it again just so everybody hears it.
The people that have the highest income, the highest net worth, use these devices the least. I go to dinner with Gary Keller.
Yep.
I never see his phone at the table.
This guy's made billions.
He's a billionaire.
Billions, yeah.
I've never once seen him look at his phone. Like, he's just the most present individual I've ever been with. Has the biggest real estate company in the world, and he has all the time in the world. Isn't that fascinating? Yet then I've got someone who isn't where they want to be, and they're sitting over there like that. So, the book that my third book, How to Break Up with Your Phone. I read that book 3 or 4 years ago. I have 0 notifications on my phone, not one. Even the text message, I have to click on the text message to see that they're there. And what I found was removing them all. It says, just try it for a week. I will tell you, it's the most amazing thing ever. So here's something everyone should do. Go study your screen time. And I don't know what the Android version of that is, but go to Apple, go to screen time. And go to look at all the non-productive things you're doing. And then tell me.
Which is investing.
Which what?
Which is investing. It's a version of investing.
Totally,
incorrectly. Yeah.
You're investing in you to save your time to go figure out what you want. You'll realize I'm spending... when I say I deleted Facebook and Instagram, I only put it back on recently because, we got the podcast going again and I'm more involved in our content. But I put for years, 0 distractions. My phone doesn't ring. The only way it rings is if I have an appointment scheduled and I know it's you and it's at the right time. I'm like, oh, well, it's Michael. Of course, we're here. But if someone called me out of that time and I'm in my time block working on something, I'm fully present, fully engaged in working on it. And I think we've lost the ability to focus for 90-minute blocks. Completely. People are interrupted 24/7 and they're not getting what they want. And so I don't believe these are, yes, it's amazing. I love that I can DoorDash and bring something here in 5 minutes. I love all that stuff. The connectivity I don't think it's a good thing. And I think that's why, to your point, why does it feel like we're going faster? Because that. Absolutely.
I think we're wasting, and I hear the frame on that. When I said the word investing a minute ago, we are investing on Facebook time. We're investing on Instagram time. We're investing on checking your email every 5 seconds. That is investing. We're always investing. The question is in what? Are you investing in your future or are you investing in being busy? Mm-hmm. And I think people have to accept the fact that everybody here is an investor. They're all investing every day of the week. The question is in what?
100%.
That is fascinating. So to dummy down everything so far, get the plan. Where do they get the plan for the $500,000?
Yeah, go to bewealthy.com. There's an exercise on there. It'll say, literally go to resources, scroll down, it says, get my $50 million plan. Just going to give you a spreadsheet and a video to watch, and that's it.
Go to the website. Yep. Number 2, go to Amazon or Barnes & Nobles or anything. Go to the bookstore too. I recommend if you physically can go to the bookstore, it's even better. I love the smell of the bookstore.
Well, are you the guy that you go over there? I go grab like 10 things and I sit down and then I realize, I got to buy them all. I just, I can't decide, right? I got to get them all.
Yeah. And then some I read, some I don't.
Have you seen the Bill Gates documentary? He's walking around. He's got just books in his arms all the time. My wife shows, not that I'm saying Bill Gates, she's like, you were that guy with the satchels of books.
There's a hint. Like him or don't, doesn't matter. You get somewhere.
I'm not saying he's the right guy. I'm not saying it's not a political statement. I'm saying the guy's reading a lot of things.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And you have to read books if you want to get there. So get the 2 or 3 of the books you recommended.
Yes.
Get that as well. And then my next question for you is, because you run a family office. You help people turn their income and into wealth.
That's right.
What is your definition of wealth versus being rich? And I want to really understand that for a second, because my daughter went to school today. You've got these really cool, from one of your masterminds, you've got a thing called Be Wealthy as one of the groups. And she borrowed today to go to school. You've got those little, they're beautiful too, because you invest in your people.
Yeah.
So it was not just a cheap made overseas. It was, what is that brand? It was the little
Yeti.
The Yeti. It was a beautiful Yeti one, and it's mine because your team gave it to me, and then my daughter took it. I'm like, I want her to have that at school today. So she went to school with the brainwashing. Be wealthy, be wealthy, be wealthy, and she's convinced she's gonna be wealthy anyway. She's 13. So if somebody were to be
by the way,
wealthy,
by the way, what a great message for kids, though.
Be wealthy.
You're having the conversation though with your kids, and I know you've been doing it forever, but like not about the be wealthy, but just they are going to be wealthy.
It's already done.
Like it's like my kids would go like, well, of course I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be wealthy, obviously.
Nice things. Yeah.
Like it just, but you can program kids at home to just know that they're gonna be wildly successful. You're gonna have a huge life.
Yeah.
There's no harm in telling someone that.
We went over this. So Tara just got a brand new car the other day. I know the car she wants, and then there's the car that she's going to get right now, and they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
The G-Wagon's here.
Yeah.
The new Bronco is here.
Yeah.
But in order to get the G-Wagon down the road, she's not going to get all the features she needs on the Bronco now. So she's going to put away that extra money and invest that money because she wants the G-Wagon down the road. She's already decided. I mean, she's 24, she'll be 25. She already knows that by the time she's 27, that's her car, but she can't do both. So she came to me, we went over that, we taught her about cost analysis. We broke down how the value, I got my buddy on the phone who knew more than I did from the car. Your point. I called a buddy that was in the debt business. He explained how she could ask the guy at the dealership about how the calculation of the lease and the loan, I don't know anything about what he gave us an audio what to say. She repeated it to the guy and found out exactly how they were accumulating the lease and where the money was coming, where they were putting the tax, the whatever, blah, blah, blah. And if she could buy part of that out now and not put it into this was quick education from a guy that knew more than she did.
Yeah.
She played it for herself, listened, walked in, got a better deal on the vehicle. And within 2 seconds. So shout out to them as well. But back to you. So definition of being wealthy. What is be wealthy mean if you would explain it to your kids, family, anybody you're listening?
So what I would say, rich is I can afford the payment.
Yep.
No, I can go down there, I can afford. Wealth is I send the wire.
Got it.
Right? One way to think about it. Like I would just say really wealthy people buy all their luxury. They have an asset that pays for the personal items. But I would tell you they have no debt, in my opinion, on anything that doesn't cash flow.
Got it.
That's my definition of the wealthy. And then ultimately wealth is you're living your purpose. You've got your income exceeds your expenses, all that stuff. But you're actually connected to why you want to do it. And to me, that's life experience. Right? I think, I love the book Die with Zero. I fundamentally disagree with the principle by Bill Perkins in the book that you should try to like get all your money to zero. And
I didn't like that book. That I didn't like the morbid. I understood.
I didn't like
it.
that part.
Yeah.
The part I took from the book was the person with the most life experience wins the game.
That I liked.
That was
I just couldn't figure out why I was gonna. What was the benefit of me having nothing? Give the next people nothing?
That part. That's just shock and awe to sell some book. But the point of the book of the life experience thing, I think, is missed on people. They don't go have those incredible life experience that you're having with your family, where it's the ritual, the moment, the thing that makes it special.
Yep.
And so to me, that's wealth is epic experiences with people you love, and you get to decide epic, and you get to decide the people you love. But that's what matters.
I love that.
Yeah, that's literally why my entire mission is to go do. I want my wife, my 3 kids, and we are doing what we can to do the most epic things we can on this planet, and we've done a lot of it, and we're on the journey to do it all.
And you're not done yet.
Oh, I'm getting ready to head out for a couple of weeks, and we're going to go to we go to Kauai for 2 weeks, same time every year. We're talking about that.
Yeah.
And all 5 of us are certified scuba divers. We spearfish. We do crazy things, and it's why I do what I do. Right? That's the fuel for me. That's the fuel that goes and gets me going on everything else I do. It's
interesting you say this. So basically, you just gave the end result. We were talking in the lobby earlier, and it's funny because everyone I know, and I'll listen to whether it's Patrick or David, I'll listen to any podcast, and they always have you these hints that I listen for. And one of the guys, his cup says on the thing, he says, words talk, and he goes, numbers scream. And I see that, and then he mentions the books, and then I look at all these people, and they're wealthy, and blah, blah, blah. Everyone says very similar things. And this something you said today when you were in the lobby today, like I'm going to the same place that I love, the same way we're getting there, through probably sitting on the same seats on the plane that you always do.
14th year of doing the same thing.
And people would say, well, don't you have to do new things? You know what you love, and it's not the cheapest date in the world. And you're staying in the same room that you want to stay in. You call in advance. You know the lady down there. The predictability of how good that feels. I think one of the things I've noticed from highly effective, successful people is they know what they like. They know how to reproduce what they like, and they enjoy it so much, and they know how to create the fun in it. So is it that we always need to find new and different things, or you just need to find a way to just get that thing you want?
I think people need to think about two things: rituals and traditions, and build them in all areas of your life. So my tradition is that I go to Kauai for Christmas and New Year. That's the tradition, right there. The ritual is Christmas Day, we go to Poipu Beach and we watch Beach Santa come cruising in. Happens every year.
That's awesome.
But literally, with the kids, we're gonna miss him, right? Then we go to the Brinicky Beach Broiler. I eat the same meal. I had the same meal in the same place, at the same time, 14 years.
I do the same thing.
That's the ritual, though. Like when we go there, like, do you need a menu? Absolutely, of course I don't need a menu. I know I'm having the fish and chips, right? It's just what I do there, right? That's my thing. But so you build these in different areas of your life. Like my youngest is 12. He was certified on his 10th birthday. We go to our home in Belize and we dive on his birthday every year. Every year, that's the ritual. That's what we're gonna do. We're diving on his birthday.
He loves that.
He's into it. But he like if I said, hey, we're not gonna go this year, he'd be like,
is everything okay?
What are we doing? Like, but so you build it, and one of the jokes was because we go to my two youngest have never had Christmas at home. We've always been in Kauai. And so one of my coaching clients said, well, my wife thinks it's really important to have in the family at home under the tree. And I said, that's really cool. You've built a ritual that ends when they're 18. Congratulations. That's awesome. Do you think my kids are going to come to Kauai?
Yeah.
Oh, so I built something that lasted when they left my home. Yeah. So I've built all these things, right, with my kids that live long beyond when they're in our... So they're going to be so connected to us because of the Thanksgiving. We go to Punamita. Every year, same room, same thing, same. Thanksgiving, most people cook a turkey or whatever. We catch the Thanksgiving fish.
That's great.
Right? I made that up. It's not a real thing, but we have to.
Started young though.
But we have to go do it, right? So if my kids are like, "What are you going to?" My wife doesn't even eat fish, but we got to go catch the Thanksgiving fish, right? She knows the thing. So, but it's the traditions and the rituals that make life matter. So and those apply to your business. They apply to your relationships.
This is the most basic. Like it's so fascinating. Every person they come in here, it's like there's a common denominator. They read books. They are really tight with their family and they're figuring out how to make that work. They take care of their health at some level, but not a ridiculous level. And these are just very basic clues. And I really think there's 4 or 5 ways that people can get what they want. And then there's about 9 million things that will never work. And I think the internet is full of about 9 gazillion ways that may work for one person one day. And then there's the basics that really never go away. Do you spend a lot of time talking about these basics? Because I know them. I get rejuvenated from this conversation because it brings me back to my roots. I grew up middle class. I found personal development. I met Jim Rohn. I started learning about books. I hated reading when I was a kid. And now I get around people that read. I feel like I'm with my people. I found my tribe. Do you think about this stuff on a regular basis, or is it just built in and ingrained now?
I think about it all the time. I actually don't believe there's life hacks.
Okay.
Right? I mean, we like describe something. Like, there is no hack.
Yep.
The hack is you got to do the work. So I think one of the reasons why my podcast it's out there. We get lots of downloads. We don't think, why is it not the number one? Because I don't tell people stuff that's not real.
Yep.
Right? I don't say that, no, if you could have no money and you don't need to know anything and you could sit at home in your underwear and you can make millions of dollars a year, that'll get a lot more clicks and views than telling people, hey, save money.
Read books.
Respect women.
Yep.
Right? These are just lost arts. But, like we teach at P Wealth, like you need to understand your P&L inside and out and every number inside of it.
Yep.
And if you do not understand the margin, your cost of goods sold, your expense ratio, if you don't understand the mechanics that drive your business, you're not in the game. You're not in the game. So if you have a business out there and you do not understand your P&L, you're not in the game. It's luck. It's random. It's gambling. Go to the casino. Throw $100,000 on a blackjack game because you're gambling. But once you understand that your business, I shove $1 into it, my margins, I get that $1 back and I get 30 cents, you become obsessed with the game. Right? I understand my margins. I understand that I put more money in, I get more money out, I can grow this business. And then my ability to lead determines how many people I can have and how many lives I can impact and how much value I can create. Right? But I think we get away from the basics and we go like, the P&L will take care of itself.
I love it.
And how many times have you heard this? You go, no, but you don't understand. Once I get double the business, then it starts making money.
Oh yeah. When I get there, then everything will be okay.
And you're like, well, what economies of scale are in your business? You're not a paver factory that's running its third shift that has economies of scale. You're a real estate agent. Your margin will actually go down the bigger it gets because you insert management and layers to that. Your margin goes down.
Yes.
Very logical. I can't tell you, and my industry is the absolute worst for this. People have all these awards selling GCI and millions and trillions and gillions, and yet they can barely make their payroll. It's an ego business for awards that don't matter, for people that don't care, and I've never understood it. I was number 9 in the country, 3 with my company, and the only difference between me and the other 2 is I actually had the money to go with it.
Because you decided
I made
be
real
an
money.
investor.
I could have been number 1. I could have been number 1 if I was willing to not make money. You could sell more houses if you're not trying to make money. Of course you can, right? If it takes 100, no logical person wants to compete in that game. That makes sense.
It does. And you watch, and the funny thing about real estate agents is they don't realize that they're around him selling investments all the time, but very few of them actually invest. And it's like going out of the bank, and you go to the bank and you get a big check in your hand. It's like $500,000, $100,000, and you bring it down to the teller and you give it to the lady. And then they're like, "Oh, is that all you need to do today?" Is that the only question you should ask? You should ask, "Where the heck did you get this from? Can you teach me how to do this?" But I will tell you, most people are the bank teller. They're watching people all day long getting wealthy, and no one's asking the question, how can I do that? What can I do differently? Wow, that's amazing. And I'm just telling you, think about how many times you've went down to a bank or initiated a wire and they asked you zero. I know they shouldn't bother you, maybe ask questions, but there should be some curiosity. They should go home to their husband or their wife and go, "This guy Brett just keeps on coming in and he's got these huge checks and he bought a Starbucks. That's weird. That's cool." Versus, I could do that too.
Yeah, I'd love to. Can I sit down with you? It's funny, you ask people who are really successful for their time. Overwhelmingly, if you do it the right way,
they'll give it to you.
They'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Now, if you do it the wrong way, no.
They're
but if you do it the right way, 100% they'll do it.
So if you were to get someone to get your time, and we're going to end up soon here, but I want to get you this. If somebody needed to get somebody's time, I'm not talking about you in general, because I know what I hate. I can't stand when somebody asks me the question, "Oh, can you mind sitting down? I could hear how you got started."
Could I pick your brain for a couple minutes and see how we...
How about, can I punch you in the face? It's like, could you be more annoying than that? I have a busy day. That's what my brain says. What would it trigger for you? And this is not an indicator light to send Brett a message. So if you send what he's about to tell you to him, it won't work. He sent it to me, it won't work either. So what would you recommend if somebody sees someone that's successful and they want to learn from their neighbor, their friend, they're a doctor and they know a doctor that owns 7 clinics and they want to get in the IV game? Like, what would you say to that guy to get him to talk to you?
I have the best playbook, and I did this.
Go ahead.
And it changed my life, okay? I'm a real estate agent. I got licensed in 2005, okay? I go to this event, Russell Shaw, which local. I didn't know him at the time. I just knew he was all over TV, right? If you're not happy, fire me. You're in control. So I saw him do this presentation. I'm sitting in the crowd, first year as a real estate agent. And I go, man, that guy's at the top of the mountain. I've been at the top of the game decades. I got to sit down with him. So I started thinking, right, like probably everyone here, how do I get his time? So I was like, you know what? I really believe that quote, the only difference in who we are today and who we are 5 years from now in the books we read and the people we meet. So I wrote him a letter. So there's a saying.
With your hand.
With my hand.
Physically with a pen.
The only difference in who we are today and who we are 5 years from now are the books we read and the people we meet. And I believe for me, you could be one of those people.
That's it.
I've attached my favorite book into this letter. I sent it FedEx overnight, signature required. It's an important part of the story. And I said, I just want an hour of your time. I know I couldn't pay for it, so I've attached a check for $500 to the charity of your choice. I just want an hour of your time. I get a call the next day. I fed it, his signature required. Get a call, Brett Tanner, Russell Shaw. I was like, hi, sir. I goes, I'll meet you at Houston's at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Don't be late. You have 1 hour. I said, click. I said, done. It's one on Camelback. Drive down there. I'm there early. Obviously, he comes just barreling. He's a huge personality. Comes barreling in there. We get, the staff knows him. We sit down. And literally goes like this. He goes, let me tell you something. You're going to make more money by being here today. I go, really? How do you know that? He goes, everyone that meets me does. It's just going to happen. It just is. Do you have a notepad there? Open it out. Is this your business card? I said, yes, that's my business card, sir. He goes, it's stupid. It's the dumbest business card I've ever seen. Why is your picture not on it? People remember faces, not names. You want to get more listings? They'll connect later. They're going to have all the cards laying there. They won't have their name on it. You have your name, you get more. He goes, how's your listing presentation? I said, well, I think it's pretty good. He goes, I think it's shitty. You don't even know me. Like, how could you know that? He goes, because if it was better, you'd have more business. Here's mine. It's trademark, no hassle listing. I'm going to work with you on the rest of it. Write this down. And I'm like, oh. We're there 3.5 hours, just sitting there, debating ideas, mentor, mentee. Became my mentor, got me in a mastermind, but literally gave me all of the credit I've had in real estate sales success I'd give to him because it was so valuable at that moment that someone believed in you. But all came from a $25 investment for my mentor. Didn't even know the guy.
I love that.
And so how do people do it? They don't do it that way. He shows up, he said, let's take care of this check thing right now. I'm not taking your money. I said, I'm not taking it back. He goes, I'm going to frame it and stick it on my wall. I said, you do what you got to do. Right? Like, I love that. But I mean, such a giver. And then, he would call me. He would be like, it was the other, checking in. Hey, what are you working on? How come this isn't happening? I'm like,
he respected you because you reached out.
He's like, he said, Brent, I've a million people have asked my time. You were the one that took the advice and ran with it. And then we went to lunch. I need to get back and go to lunch. We were going to lunch once a month. My career took off. We became peers. We went to lunch with him for years and years later. He's like, best thing I ever did. Now I get to pick your brain. And I was like, sir, you're not picking my brain. Anything I can do to help you. And I learn more than I give him. But that's how people should approach it. Think differently, right? Like if someone did that, again, if you send this to tomorrow, that's not gonna be thoughtful.
Yeah, because it's you're hacking. If you borrow that exactly, but your version of that's where it gets screwed up. It's got to be your version of that to someone else. You send it to us, we saw it coming. Yeah. Tactic known, tactic blown.
Yeah, exactly. But so the person you want to meet is out there. They would help you.
Be courageous.
But be thoughtful.
Yep.
Right? It's really hard to do things that help a billionaire, right? It's really hard. I'd work really hard to think of ways I help.
It's like picking a Christmas gift for your wife who could buy anything she wants. How hard is that?
Right. So Gary, I think what I can provide, I think what I provide to him is honesty. Right? You get to that level, everyone's telling you yes. And I think he likes the fact sometimes I'm like, hey, I don't know that I agree with that. You know what I mean? I respectfully, can I disagree? And I think sharing your perspective, right? That's another way to add value to someone's life. Because a lot of our people are going, oh, yeah, Michael, you're great. You're great. And that's great. Great idea. Another home run you hit. But your real close friends go, hey, Michael, I don't know if that's the best way to do that.
Here's something I think that could help.
Can I connect you with my friend who could talk to you about that? You're like, dude, thank you, man. That was helpful.
You're not treating me the same way everybody else does. Really understanding the mentor-mentee relationship is a huge piece of the game. And most people I read a book years ago called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Have you read the book?
Great book.
Read it 5 times. I promote it all the time because deeply there's in there the mentor-mentee relationship, and learning how to allow the mentor to help you is something most of us don't use because our egos and everything get in the way. So what I want to ask is this simple question for you. People listening right now, you get to this point of the podcast, you're like, okay, I got something here. Everyone's going to go to bewealthy.com. They're going to download that. How does somebody reach out to find out more about the family office? How do they find out about if they're appropriate to work with your communities? Like, what is the best way to get a hold of, it wouldn't be you maybe, but your team? Like, what is the best way for someone to engage with you?
Go to bewealthy.com. You got our website. Check that out. There's tons of resources there. But go to our podcast. Go to Be Wealthy, the Be Wealthy podcast.
Great show.
Go there, and you're going to see content that either connects with you or not.
Okay.
But that's the best step. And then we're on every platform out there. Be Wealthy Brett anywhere on the internet. Message us, reach out. It could be myself or my team. We'd love to hear from people. But it's go to the website. Use our tools, our free tools. Take advantage of it, and go run. Start reading more. Engage with our podcast, and just take advantage of what's out there and educate yourself. Right? Go read the books. Do the work. Success is simple. Don't make it hard. You can have anything you want. You could absolutely have anything you want. Think really big, because you can have it all. And I think people have these limited mindsets on what's possible for them. You can only cut so much expense in your life, but your income and opportunity is unlimited. And so do you look at it that way? Right? The what's ahead of you is truly unlimited. And so just figure out what you want and go get it.
I love this. I was going to ask you for final thoughts, but you just gave them right there. So it has been a pleasure, my friend. Loved having you out here today. And I could talk to you for days about this.
I was same thing when you were on my pod. I was like, I could go another 4 hours.
If I didn't book myself after, I would go 5 more hours of this. We're going to have to do this again.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Honor to have you on, and amazing. I'm excited to go download that myself. I'm going to start doing I'm going to go take a bigger plan. I'm going to move that needle a little bit more than the 50.
I love it.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Well, hey guys, I want to take a quick opportunity right now and remind you that Average Sucks is not just an incredible podcast. It is a way of life. It is a way of being, and the title of my best-selling book that shows you step by step. I literally walk through exactly how in my life and in the lives of our incredible students, I showed them how to live an above average life, whether it's in your business, whether it's with your finance, with your health, any area of your life that you're looking to scream those words, average sucks, get to the next level, get out of your box in life. This book will show you exactly how to do it. Get your copy at averagesucks.com or Amazon or wherever books are sold. Get your copy right away and get out there and start living a life that screams average sucks. Get the book.